Hello, hello, welcome back to the Lorethrough. Today is episode 41, and we will start off by giving Roger that black knife print we found last time and seeing what he has to say about it.
Always good to see you safe. So, what do you need? This is a black knife print. I can scarcely believe you managed to get your hands on this. You recall our conversation about the Night of the Black Knives, yes? They say the assassins who carried out the deed were scions of the Eternal City, a group entirely of women, arrayed in armor of silver under cloaks which fooled the eye. The knives they wielded, though, were imparted with the power of the Rune of Death through sinister rite. Please, I beg of you, lend me the knife print for a time. I'd love nothing more than to tease out its secrets. Though only a fragment, a very specific ritual had to be performed to impart the power of the Rune of Death. Traces of the one who performed the rite are sure to remain in the imprint. Half my body has been suffused with death. I'm certain it will help me see.
Okay, so he drops some important information there, chiefly that the Black Knives are scions of the Eternal City. Those that underground place that we visited briefly, or at least saw hints of when we were in the Siofra Riverwell. We haven't gone to a proper Eternal City yet. We've just been around it and close to it, but we've heard mentions of it through dialogue and item descriptions. And so now he says he could potentially tease out the secrets of who is perhaps behind the Night of Black Knives if given enough time. So we'll rezone and then let's chat with him again.
Ah, hello. I was hoping to see you. My examination is complete. Here's the knife print back, with my thanks. Now I have a fairly good idea who performed the rite upon the blade. The person who orchestrated the Night of the Black Knives. Lunar Princess Ranni. One of the children born to King Consort Radagon and his first wife, Rennala. Demigod and sister to General Radahn and Praetor Rykard. Hers was the name I discovered in the imprint. Truly, you have my thanks. But if I might be so bold, I would like to ask something more of you. If Ranni truly is the one who plotted that fateful night, then she should bear the curse mark of destined death somewhere upon her flesh. I would like you to procure it for me. And then all will be laid bare. I will have the answers I have sought for so long.
So that was a lot of information, but chiefly we learned that King Consort Radagon, before he was King Consort Radagon, when he was Champion Radagon and married to Rennala, Queen of the Full Moon, he had 3 children, Ranni, Rykard, and Radahn. All our names, conveniently enough. And we've learned a little bit about Rykard being a justiciar and an inquisitor of the at Volcano Manor. General Radahn, we know, fought Melania. And Lunar Princess Ranni, we don't know a lot about her, but it seems that she has inherited the namesake or has partial inheritor of the Carian Manor estate from her mother Rennala. And that Praetor Rykard and Radahn, General Radahn, don't seem to share in that inheritance. At least not exactly, but we'll learn more about them in time. So let's ask about Ranni's whereabouts.
I have some idea of Ranni's potential whereabouts. There's a manor to the north of the Academy of Rea Lucaria. It is the familial home of the Carian royals, from whom Ranni descends. There's been talk of the old royals' vassals gathering there in recent years. Ranni's whereabouts since the shattering are a well-kept secret. She hasn't been seen even once, but I suspect she might have returned to the manor in which she was born.
And let's ask him why he wants the curse mark.
I'm afraid there's something I must tell you. Do you know of those who live in death? The very notion of life in death defies the Golden Order. By Dee's account, these defiled fiends must be expunged. But truth be told, I seek the curse mark to save them. You may find this peculiar, but I discovered something in my examination of the Night of the Black Knives. These souls have committed no offense. They have every right to life, only they happen to touch upon a flaw in the Order.
Alright, we can ask about Dee again.
Yes, indeed. If Dee knew what drives me now, he would surely boil over with rage. Or perhaps he would even feel some pity. But no need to fret. None of that will come to pass. I can tell a good lie when I need to.
So now I believe it'll be most fitting if we go and try to visit Lunar Princess Ranni and see what more we can uncover about the plot, which is another consequence of me doing things strangely out of order. I had planned today to do more of this stretch of Liurnia, but we're going to head back to the backyard of the Carian Manor. And have no fear, I will adjust the audio for the fight so I can be heard. And we'll move it back up once dialogue becomes relevant again. I need to pick adequate weapons for the dragon we saw back there, though. That's always a tough choice for me. Okay, so let's try this out. And do we have anything else that will help with that? We do. So a lot of people, I had somebody mention to me the other day that they never use Dragon Wound Grease. And all it does is it provides a 20% buff to your melee attacks. So we will sneak over here. I think there's a beetle over here for us to get actually while we're here. There he is. Hello. There we go. And Chilling Mist, one of the best Ashes of War in my opinion for just about any build. Physical intelligence, well, physical and intelligence. Basically, it's less useful, I think, on faith builds and the like, but either way. So here we have a dragon. We're gonna buff up totally. And the nice thing is Lutel teleports to catch up. I think it's funny how those slash attacks count as pierce. Oh no! Didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Barely got out of the way of that. That chunked. Let me up, let me up, let me up. Ooh, that could have been the end of us. But dragons are inherently cowardly creatures. Don't fight fair, which is very funny for a creature that's obviously huge apex predator of a creature. And this particular lizard disappears entirely once you get it just past the halfway mark. And that's alright. So back here in the other part of the backyard, we have a wizard tower over there, wizard tower there, wizard tower over there. And a ruin here. With a floor that gives out. Well, it's an illusion. And here we have a study. Have a fellow wearing a robe. Well, more like wearing long linens. We have an omen killer. And they're all crumpled funny. Here we have a lady wearing the page's outfit and the feathered cap. Here we have a lady that looks like a finger maiden. A man wearing a pot on his head, and they're all crumpled in the same way. Seluvis's puppet. Do not touch. So who's Seluvis? And are all these his puppets? Or does he only have the one? And here we find our third incarnation of Sorceress Selen. Took me a moment to remember her name. And here she is also strangely limp, and all are inactive. They do not speak to us. But this will be interesting for later. We have a handful of wolves. Come on. There we go. And this particular wizard tower has lots of glintstone growing out of it. Just all over the place, just rife with it. And they've got studies and statues and astrolabes and I want to call them podiums, but that's not the right word. For those stands that hold books or paper. Goodness, it's not that important. But still, a place of study just filled with glintstone. And there's actually a grace here, believe it or not. And it says Ranni's Rise, so we have made it to the correct place. Guess we don't need the lance anymore. It was just fun to have. There we go. Nice sword at the hip, ready for roleplay aspects of the video game. Bump this up and have a nice chat. We're in Ranni's Rise, and we're looking for Lunar Princess Ranni. But this is the witch Renna. She's the one who gave us the spirit calling bell and the wolves spirit ash. At least she looks exactly the same, so witch Renna, where is Lunar Princess Ranni?
Oh, again we cross paths. I believe I said my name was Renna when last we met. It pleaseth me to see Torrent hale and hearty, but tarnished. What business hast thou here? I have no memory of inking thee an invitation.
You must be Ranni the witch behind the Knight of the Black Knives.
I see. Quite the sleuth, aren't we? Indeed, I am the witch Ranni. I stole a fragment of the Rune of Death and used it to forge the god-slaying Black Knives through fearsome rite. I did it all. But sadly for thee, the curse mark thou seekest is not to be found here. I have slain the body I was born into and cast it away, and it is upon that flesh the curse mark is carved.
So, the curse mark we look for in her flesh has been cast aside, and sure enough, like the puppets we saw in the other basement, she herself is a puppet. She's merely the spirit inhabiting this puppet. Her body is elsewhere, so we can ask, where did the body go? It's funny how that's a prompt when we go up to her. It's not a normal dialogue option.
And why should I reveal that to thee? I performed the act not to bury the past, nor in shame of the deed, but all the same, thy begging compels me not a jot. The curse mark thou seekest is not here. That is all I will say. Now, be gone.
I think that's all she has to say to us, but I'll try again.
The curse mark now.
Had we come here without doing all that stuff with Sorcerer Rajier, we would have had the option to join her and start her quest line. But it seems that we've been frustrated in that, so we're going to go talk to Rajier and report back what has happened.
Always good to see you safe. So, what do you need?
Ranni cast off her curse mark.
I see. When Ranni shed her flesh, she shed the curse mark too. You know, not everyone would trust such a tale. But if she in her current form is nothing more than the living doll you profess, then perhaps it's true after all. Forgive the bluntness of the notion, but how would you like to become one of Ranni's vassals? Only in order to get what we want? of course. The location of the body which bore the curse mark, which right now I haven't the faintest. And the best way to find out is for you to enter her service and take a poke around on the sly. I know you've got what it takes. Not only are you a superb fighter, but people want to trust you. I've seen it.
And that's true as a role of a protagonist. Everyone wishes... everyone trusts us. Everyone talks to us readily. And thankfully, we are willing to serve just about everybody we meet. Which isn't true of most people. We're a peculiarity, a product of being a main character of the video game. But that's all right. We're welcoming that and ready and willing to see all of the options that this game has for us. So let's talk about his proposition again.
Can you become Ranni's vassal to advance our agenda? While in her service, you'll be able to take a poke around on the sly and determine the location of her original body that bears the curse mark. I realize that I'm asking you to put yourself in grave danger, but I know you've got what it takes. Quite possibly the only one, in fact.
So, it seems to me that Rajir might have done so himself if he were able to. And lucky for him, we are a very willing participant in his schemes. So let's go back to Ranni's Rise and speak with her again. This time with a new plan in mind, to poke around on the sly, as Rajir says. Oh, good. Kind of funny how foggy Carian Manor is. And how the fog seems to outstretch even to the rest of the world. You see more of these shafts of blue light. Kind of reminiscent of the Starlight Shards.
The curse mark thou seekest is not here. That is all I will say. Now, be gone.
I wish to serve you.
Oh, is that so? Thou wouldst render me aid. Is that thy proposal? Affording thyself opportunity to grope about for the curse mark's location, no doubt.
So she's already privy to our schemes. We
Very
weren't
well.
that secretive about
There's
it.
nothing wrong with a well-laid scheme. What's more, if my past and past wounds beckon to thee, I am curious enough to see what thy destiny portends. I'll allow it. Enter my service, and good hunting to thee. Good. Then I ask we proceed with haste. There is, in my service, a half-wolven warrior by the name of Blaidd. I would have thee join him in searching for the hidden treasure of Nokron, the Eternal City. I have called for Blaidd to greet thee below. Take from him the particulars. Ah, and there wilt thou find Iji, my war counselor, and Seluvis, preceptor in the sorcerous arts also. Heed not their peculiarities. Feel secure in gaining from them what advantage thou canst. I am sure the others will be doing just the same. Speak with the three who await thee below. Thou needst not indulge them unduly, but they too wish to appraise thy worth. It hath been a passing long time since a newcomer entered my service, after all. Speak with thou needst.
Okay.
It hath been a passing...
So she has introduced the concepts of Blaidd, the half-wolf, who we've already met, Ichi, the war counselor, who we did not know was in service to Ranni, but we've met him before, and he's a blacksmith, and Preceptor Seluvis, who, though we have not met him, we have heard his name in that ruined basement where all the puppets are. Perhaps he had a hand in crafting Ranni's puppet that she now pilots? And, well, it looks like War Counselor E.G. could not make it here in person, but he is here in ghostly visage.
Oh, so you were the one. Lady Ranni has explained everything. Again, I am Iji, the Carian royal family's dedicated blacksmith and Lady Ranni's war counselor. I'm told that you are searching for Nokron with Blaidd. I will give you whatever guidance I can, and pray for your success. My apologies for the misleading words of warning. I never imagined that an audience, let alone service to Lady Ranni, was in your fate. I, for one, should have seen it, but I did not. Do forgive me, my fellow. Let us give all that we can of ourselves, together, for Lady Ranni.
So he's a relatively humble man, troll. And though he did not see that we would enter Ranni's service, he is willing to accept us with open arms. He does not seem too critical of us for disregarding his warnings, and in fact seems a little elated because of it.
Let us give all that we can together.
Yeah, and he wants us to serve Lady Ranni, so very good disposition outlook, a good fellow at least on the surface. And here we have a ghostly visage of Blaidd.
Long time, friend. Blaidd. If you've forgotten. Glad to have you in the service of Mistress Ranni. Well, getting right to business. I'm still in Limgrave. The eternal city of Nokron lies somewhere at the bottom of this land. I'm planning to go below through the well in the Mistwood. See if I can't find the road to Nokron from there.
Okay.
I'm going below to see if I can. Don't keep me waiting.
Alright, so he's going to try to find Nokron below in the Siofra River well area, which is in this general area. And somewhere around here is the city of Nokron. So he's going to go down there and see if he can find a way in. And here we have a ghost of, presumably, Preceptor Seluvis, just like that message we saw on the ground that gave us an image that looked a bit like this.
I see. You must be Ranni's new hireling. Yes, I've heard all about you. I am Seluvis, preceptor in the sorcerous arts. I don't know what it is the mistress sees in a provincial tarnished like you, but since we have the misfortune of serving the same lady, I ask that you kindly try not to drag us all down with you.
So, of the three dispositions, his is starkly the most negative. He says we have the displeasure, or he puts serving Lady Ranni into a negative light, so to speak. But he wants me to not drag everyone down at the very least.
I reside in another tower close by. Come and pay me a visit. Should you wish to be of actual service to Mistress Ranni. If it were up to me, I wouldn't waste my time on the likes of you. But who am I to stand against the wishes of my lady?
Okay, so he says he resides in another tower nearby, and we should visit him.
I reside. Come and pay me a visit. Should you? If it were up to me, but who am...
And his speaking pattern seems a bit odd when talking about him residing in a tower nearby. And now we are allowed to leave the area. Though, I think we need to talk to Lady Ranni. No, we still can't teleport. Okay, so we need to talk to Lady Ranni one more time to conclude this portion of the quest. It's an interesting thing they've done here. Mostly because it's very seldom you get to talk to so many characters in cahoots with each other in one tight location in FromSoft games. The closest you get is maybe meeting everybody at the hub area, and even then, their stories don't really converge, usually.
Allow me to forewarn thee. I shall soon enter my slumber, and it will be some time before I wake. This doll's body is not without its hindrances. Still, I have high hopes for thee. I look forward to the good news when I arise. I shall soon enter, and it will be... I look for...
Okay, so she will enter her slumber soon, and now we are free to teleport away. But, okay, what to do next? Well, we might as well continue with this stint, and let's go see if we can find where Blaidd has moved to in this Siofra River. Good news is, I know exactly where to look for him. So I guess that's, in retrospect, that's what this episode's about, is the intrigue into Ranni's questline, which we will do in parts across the series, as to be able to complete as many questlines as possible, because if you do too much of her questline, you miss out on dialogue options and things like that. Yeah, we'll go say hi to Blaidd. Rude. Goodness. You can't just roll away from those fellows. They seem to have the perfect reach in order to... That has a long wind-up, turns out. Okay. Let's talk with Blaidd. Oh, that part might have been terribly loud. I didn't lower the volume because I was expecting more speaking. I apologize, dear viewer.
Ah. Good to see you. Apologies, mate. But I don't have much to report. I can see bloody Nokron right above me. But I'm absolutely stumped. I've tried all the gateways, to no avail. Perhaps it's time to ask Seluvis. I recall that spiteful little rat acting like he knew something. Let's give him a squeeze. Show him just how sharp my teeth are. I jest. I wouldn't go that far. Besides, I should check on some things here. Leave this place to me. You just do what you feel is right. If either of us learns anything, we tell the other. Right?
So it seems that there's a little bit of a rivalry going on between Lady Ranni's servants. He wants us to go talk to Seluvis if that's what we feel is right. And if we find out anything, we should tell him. And there's a little bit of an agreement that he will tell us anything he learns as well.
Leave this place to me. If either of us learn, and if we reach it,
yep, that's what he has to say. Okay. So now, let's go back to... Actually, let's talk to Iji. See if he has anything new to say. And then we'll go talk to Seluvis. We have a little bit of time.
Greetings, my... I take it you've heard of the eternal city of Noxtella? Well, it has a twin, known as Nokron, the other eternal city. After years of expeditions, we've determined the location of Nokron by going underground through the well in the Mistwood of Limgrave. You can see Nokron up above. Only we've failed to find a path leading to the city. Blaidd's made a good go of it, but I'm afraid this has him quite stumped. To be honest, I'm not sure where to go from here.
So he doesn't know where to go, but he knows roughly where it is as well. But we can ask about Blaidd.
Blaidd is Lady Ranni's stepbrother. Ranni's mother, Queen Rennala, approved of him, and they played like siblings from childhood. They were always happy to have me tag along as well. When Lady Ranni renounced her flesh and chose the dark path of the Empyrean, Blaidd and I swore allegiance as vassals. But none of us will ever forget our earliest days together. Promise to look after Blaidd for me, will you? The man is honest to a fault. But fortunately, now he has you.
So it seems that Lady Ranni and Blaidd the half-wolf are step-siblings. Or half-siblings. I forget what word he used exactly. And that they, while playing together as children, would have Iji accompany them. Which is kind of sweet. A little more innocent of a backstory than we would have ever suspected. And it seems that myself, or this character, Foreman Seekhelm, and Preceptor Seluvis are the odd ones out. that they have a tight-knit trio, and we're here as well as unfortunate training wheels on this horrible tricycle that has 5 wheels. I don't know what I'm talking about, but let's, does he have anything else to say about Necron?
I take it you've heard of the Eternal. After years by going under only Blaidd, to be honest.
That's all he has to say on that one. And now, let's head back to Ranni's Rise and head to Seluvis' tower. Or hopefully I will have a chance to wrap up all the dialogue in this stint of an episode. So his tower is just down here to the south. We just need to find a place that's okay for us to jump off of and not die horribly. So we need a little bit of forgiveness. Alright, this looks like a spot. Perfect. And here we can enter the tower. Actually, funny enough, I should probably show this off. You can take the ladder up the tower, or you can go up this wall back here, and especially if you take your horse with you, you can get a black wolf mask, and you can go up the ladder pretty quick. Or rather, you can ignore the ladder altogether and ride up the tower. Where will we find another memory stone, which will be nice. I think I have one more memory stone I want to grab before we get to the fated PvP episode, which will be exciting in its own right. But let's talk to Seluvis.
Well, you took me at my word. Did you not realize I was merely being polite? Oh, you provincials never cease to amaze. I suppose you're here now. Perhaps I'll give you something to do. I'd like you to find a woman called Nepheli to administer a potion. Even you can do that much, can't you?
And we will accept the task, though it seems highly suspicious.
Good, good. Now I shall hand over the potion in question.
And it seems that when Lady Ranni told us we don't need to overly indulge her vassals, perhaps she was talking about Seluvis in particular.
Find Nepheli and ensure she drinks it. I expect glad tidings, and soon.
Okay, so let's take a look at the mask as well as that potion. So here's the Blaidd-looking mask, a mask fashioned after the head of a black wolf, a relic of an assassin who assumed the guise of Ranni the Witch's loyal shadow. The likeness is striking. Seems interesting that was outside on the wall of the tower, outside Seluvis' place. Why would that be there? Speculation can abound. And let's take a look at that key item. Really fast while we're thinking about it. Alright, small flask received from Preceptor Seluvis containing a cloudy tonic of bluish black. Find Nepheli and ensure she drinks it. So, just doesn't seem like a good situation, all in all. He's up to something.
I've no time for... The only thing I will hear from you is... Are we understood? I have enough on my plate.
Okay. And we can ask about Necron.
Well, you're asking me about that, are you? The task was left to you and the mongrel, was it not? Not only are you incompetent, but shameless to boot. Well, there's no helping it. Now's as good a time as any. I'll let you in on it. There's a glintstone sorcerer by the name of Selin in Limgrave. She owes me for the help I gave her when she was expelled from the academy. I asked her to look into the matter some time ago. I'll write you a letter of introduction. Go ask her.
So he's putting off the work to somebody else, but it seems that he helped Sorcerer Selin. He tells us that she resides in Limgrave, which is funny because we've seen her in that strange basement nearby, as well as in the Weeping Peninsula. We've seen 3 instances of her that don't seem to be connected in any way that we can discern just yet. Let's take a look at Seluvis himself while we're here, though. Interesting, he has cosmic charts on the underside of the brim of his hat. Maybe it's a cheat sheet, but he has it almost looks like a sun symbol on his forehead. but his mask and mouth is that same trellis, or it's a trellis-like shape, lattice work, that we saw behind the statues of Radigan, actually. And given that Radigan at one point in time was married to Rennala, it seems that he would have ties of some sort to the Carian royals, and perhaps Seluvis is a relic of that time.
I've no time for the only thing I will are we and I have enough.
Okay, and he won't do anything for us now until we've done what he has asked. But let's go talk to Selen really fast. And let's look at the letter of introduction before we hand it off. Scroll bearing a royal coat of arms, a letter of introduction written by Preceptor Seluvis, addressed to a glintstone sorceress by the name of Selen. The contents of the scroll cannot be discerned.
There you are, my apprentice. Shall we commence the lesson? Well, well. Seluvis is not a name I ever wanted to hear again. But fine. If it will help you, my apprentice, I offer my knowledge. The stars alter the fate of the Carian royal family, and the fate of your mistress, Ranni. But long ago, General Radahn challenged the swirling constellations, and in a crushing victory arrested their cycles. Now he is the force that repulses the stars. If General Radahn were to die, the stars would resume their movement, and so too would Ranni's destiny.
And that is the hint we are given. So now we know a little bit about General Radahn, who we know is one of Ranni's siblings. It seems that he challenged the stars, arrested their movements, and he won in his fight against them. He stopped fate. We've seen item descriptions before talking about how fate used to be told in the stars and that has stopped now. And so now it seems mighty strange that someone such as General Radahn, a demigod, would be capable of such a feat. It kind of shows the amount of power he has as an individual, which is quite incredible to say the least. Now, we don't know if the stars work entirely like they do in our world, but if we are to use our world as a sort of likening, then Radahn is incredibly potent as, well, a sorcerer, it seems. You'd have to be a sorcerer, right, to do such a thing. Okay, we avoid those enemies for now. So let's tell Blaidd what we have learned.
Ah, what news?
It seems he hasn't moved, and he waited for us to do his bidding for him, but we're going to pretend Blaidd was actually seeing two things, and we have to find him in the same place. Otherwise, it seems that everyone's putting off their work on us.
So Ranni's fate is kept in stasis by Starscourge Radahn. That reminds me of something I heard. There's a festival being held at the castle on the southern edge of the Caelid Wilds, east of Limgrave. It's a festival of combat. And I heard that you can fight Radahn himself. He who was once called the strongest of all the demigods.
You'd have to be the strongest
Maybe
of the
it's just a
demigods
coincidence,
to stop the stars.
but I think it's worth investigating. I'll be on my way to this festival of Radahn then. You're coming too, right? To Radahn's festivities. I'll meet you at Redmane Castle in Caelid. The way ahead is pleasingly simple. We fight, sword and fang. You're coming too, right? I'll meet you at Redmane. The way ahead is
And so that's kind of where this little stint will stop for now. I hope to, in the coming episodes, finish Liurnia and the Academy, and after that, we will head to Caelid. Though there might be an underground portion that will finish under Liurnia right before Caelid as well. But still, it was a delightful episode. Lots of talking, lots of chatting. I was glad to have you here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.